placing a small bit of metal on the back of the magnet and fishing it up in behind this panel was very difficult. And for instance, there's a couple holes that I have left here, but this is the type of scenario that I ended up with, and I welded that piece of metal in behind there, and then followed up with a few coats of mud. And I still have to long block the whole entire panel, which means that you coat the whole panel with mud and then take a long block, and it'll flatten out all the rest of the grind areas. I threw a coat of rattle can paint over the top of it just so it doesn't rust. And in this area, I'm still on the hinge whether or not I'm going to bolt on a fender flare. I think the route I'm going to go is I'm going to weld in a piece of patch panel, because I don't think a fender flare is going to look good. I found a rust patch panel on sale online for a brand new piece of metal, and it's this area here. I think that's what I'm going to do. There was a bed at the wrecking yard that I was going to cut the piece out, but the truck ended up in the crusher. All right, so on the driver's side, I have already begun to repair part of the panel. If you'll remember right, there was a very large hole about like this in this area. I had a friend who had a door, and the door was off of one of his customers' trucks, and the whole front of the door was wrecked, but the back of the door was okay. And since the body lines match up throughout the entire side of the truck, what I did was I cut a square out of that door panel, went in here, went in behind, traced out the
body lines?
The body lines. I traced it out, I cut it out, I welded in patch metal behind the opening, and then I welded that in, and then I followed it up with some mud. For the driver's side, I'm going to do something different. What I did was my son spot welded some what these are it's for a slide hammer, and you spot weld these little guys onto your metal, and then you're going to attach a slide hammer to it and bang it out for pulling dents. But what I've done is we've spot welded this onto here so that when you pull it through, I can attach my ground for my welder onto here, and I can hold on to this, and I can spot weld that into place. And why I'm doing it this way is because I found that reaching up there and attaching a magnet to these areas where they're really hard to get, the wire feed welder has a lot of force to it, and so when I would go to begin to weld, the wire would just push the magnet off the back side. So with this, I'm going to use fish wire. I'm going to fish these up into place, and once they're up into place, I'll basically just attach my welding ground to it, and I'll be able to physically hold on to this with the welding ground as I tack weld that into place.
So what I'm doing is I'm taking these little pieces of metal, and I'm taking this stud welder, and I'm basically just welding these little pins onto the piece of metal. I'll show you that. Alright, so you're going to want to lean it on so the stud does not slide out, and you want to put it as close to the middle as you can. And you're going to hold it down and push it for 2 seconds. 1, 2. I don't think this is working. Crap. 1. Oh, it worked. See, we got that, boys. Easy. Easy dub.
Oh my god, that was fun.
Watching all them crawl.
Dad, would you like to explain why you're bending the tops of these studs?
It's like an electrician's tool. Basically, those holes that are way deep up in the fenders that I can't reach. I'm gonna send a fish. It's called a fish wire down through the hole from the outside, and then I'm gonna loop it around this, and so that I can pull this up into those deep pockets of the fenders. And so on a few of these, I need to loop them so that I can put the fish tape on. On the other ones that are reachable, I can just leave them straight.
All right, sounds good. So to fill in this big gap we have right here, we have taken some fenders that we got for like $60. They're the front fenders of 1500, and we cut out this piece right here. It fits right up into here, pretty good. And then, oh, yeah, so it fits up in there. Then it's gonna get welded.
You have to weld it in the backing.
Yeah, backing plate.
Backing plate to that, all the way around here, so that when you put this up to it,
stays.
Yep.
So this is what your completed backing pieces should look like. Should be a ridge along the whole inside of this cutout. And finally, here's the finished product. We still have some painting to do. I'll put a video out on that. We're gonna also do some bed liner down here. I'll put that in the painting video. But in the end, we are very happy with how our truck turned out. If you're looking to do this, I would say do it. We did not want a dually in the first place, but we could not pass up the offer on this truck. Such a great truck. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much. If you haven't watched the first two videos, I would say go watch that. And don't forget to like and subscribe.